Socks for today are my Waimakariri. This was round 3 for Sock Madness. Oops, let me start my computer again. Sock Madness 10. And this was a special design because you started with a cable toe and the cable ran all the way along the side of the foot on both sides, and then it split here and you knitted this big diamond surrounded by cables. I'm sorry, the light is acting weird. And then here the cable got joined again all the way into the cuff. So this was quite a spectacular pair. I started them on April 6, 2016, and I finished them on April 10, 2016. And I used a super deluxe yarn. I used Posh Yarn Pamela Sock, and it has a sparkle in it. Hey everyone, welcome. Today is December 16th and it is 3:20 p.m. I will get the hang of this. I just made my tea that was in my calendar today. It's ginger lemon and it smells awesome. Realizing our values and our virtues is the realism. Okay. Thank you so much, Yogi Tea. And I had this pretty green in the calendar. I love this color. So, the thought for today is knitters have balls of yarn. The favorite of today is about casting on, or the different ways of cast on you can use. And I don't have particular favorites, but for example, if I'm casting on for socks top down, I will always use the German twisted cast on. That's just a regular long tail cast on with an extra twist to give you a little more room in your cast on row. And I did not even tell in the Dutch vlog. When you do a long tail cast on, you of course have to know how much yarn you need to make it until the end of the cast on. For socks I use a method that I got from Kayla, from the Crazy Sock Lady. I hold my yarn, I take 1 arm length and then I take half an arm length. And this gives me enough yarn to cast on up till 72 stitches, which was my go-to cast on for socks. But I've lost some weight and 72 stitches is a bit too big. Apparently if you lose weight, your feet get smaller as well. I didn't have extremely puffy feet or something, but well, they lose weight as well. Another way to know that you have enough, and you probably might know this, but you might learn something new as well. If you are going to do long tail for like 350 stitches, because for some reason you want to start with a large number like that, you can hold your yarn like this and do, for example, 25 wraps around your needle. and then you take it off again. And then you know that this amount of yarn gives you enough for 25 reps. And then when you double that, this will give you enough for 50. If you double it again, you have enough for 100. So that's something you can do. You can also decide, if you have a center pulled ball, to put the slip stitch on the needle, and instead of holding your yarn like this, you grab your tail into this hand, you grab the outside of the yarn ball and hold it together with your tail, and now you start casting on like this. So now you have one yarn coming from the inside and one yarn coming from the outside. And as long as your yarn ball is still alive, you have enough yarn and you don't have to guesstimate the amount of yarn you need for casting on. And if you are casting on just your regular long tail cast on, I always keep my tail yarn over my index finger. So that is the yarn that uses the most, because this yarn is making the wraps around your needle, the loops on your needle. If you have to cast on, for whatever reason, 350 stitches and you reach 320 something and you are almost running out of yarn, you have like this bit left, and you know you have like this bit left, and you know this is not going to give me the 30 stitches that I still need to cast on, then you can swap the places of your yarn. So now my tail yarn, which I don't have much left of, is coming from my thumb, and that is only used to anchor the yarn under the needle. So this hardly uses any length, and that might just get you up to the 350 that you were casting on. You can see this, so you should be aware that in your end product it should not be mid-front, for example. But if it's like, I don't know what you want to cast on with 350 stitches. But anyway, you might not know this. And the tubular cast on, the surprisingly stretchy cast on, I think there's a surprisingly stretchy bind off as well. Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. You have the way of casting on knitting. So then you cast on, then you knit a stitch, but you once you have the loop on your right needle, you put it on your left needle. So then you have an extra stitch, and you can do that by knitting in the first stitch on your left needle, or knitting in between the two stitches that you have on your left needle. There are so many ways to cast on knitting, and this is interesting. I was like, one of these should be from the center, and this is it. There are so many ways, but what you need to think over before you decide on cast on is how much stretch your cast on should have, or how little stretch. It would be a shame if you knitted a top-down sweater and your cast on would not fit over your head, right? Or knitting a sock and your cast on does not fit over your heel and over your ankle, over the widest part of your foot. You also have the provisional cast-ons, of course, the ones that you can make a crochet chain and pick up stitches from that chain, but you can also knit crochet around your knitting needle. That is my go-to provisional cast-on if I need one. Then you knit around your you crochet around your knitting needle, and in the end you undo your crochet. You do that with waste yarn, and in the end you undo that crochet chain in the waste yarn, and then you end up with stitches for the other side of the knitting that you need, or when you have a folded hem, for example. Ooh, that's nice. It smelled really nice already, but the taste is also really good. Let's see. Oh, shall I tell about this? This could easily be a one skein wonder. This is the Round and Round Cowl by Kayla of the Crazy Sock Lady. And this uses 320 meters of yarn, so that is within the length of a skein of fingering weight. This is a very simple pattern, a 2-round pattern, and it's a super easy knit. This was my Christmas Eve cast on in 2020. I started this on December 24th, and I finished it on January 2nd. And for this project I used my spinning advent from 2019. And there were more colors in the spinning advent. It was a 24 skein advent, but there were also greens in here, and I did not add the greens. And for the rest I added one strand of Vilculana tilia, which is 70% mohair and 30% silk in the colorway latte, so well, nearly a natural, a white, an off-white. And as you can see, maybe this has a very, very fuzzy outcome, but it is soft. And it really toned down the colors that I used in this project. That's always something you can do. If you want to combine more colors, but you want to tone them down a little, adding a strand of mohair is really helping. Let's see, what else can I say about this project? Just that it was a nice project. And since it's only a 2-row repeat, well, once you get this show on the road, you don't need the pattern, right? Because a 2-row repeat, and if you can knit your, read your knitting a little, this is just easy going. Really nice. So cute. I have little birdies on the bird feeder. They are still a bit shy. These are, just a second, these are cold tits that I have on the bird feeder, or blue tits. I know there's a little difference between the two, but I don't know what, not by heart. But what I really want to have for my bird feeders are house sparrows. Is that what they're called? I think so. I hope you know which bird I mean. The tits are very, very shy. So if there's too much movement in the house, and that can be as much as me looking around, if I hear them, they're gone. And they don't feed at the bird feeder. They come and grab something and away they go. And the house sparrows, they feed off the bird feeder, and that is such a joy to see. But for some reason, I don't have any house sparrows around my house. I have bird feeders in the back as well. Only tits there as well. Well, and some bigger birds. What birds did I have here last week? A jay and a magpie. And when there are jays and magpies hanging around the bird feeder, well, then you won't see the tits anywhere. But I would really, really like the house sparrows, and I don't know how I can lure them over. If you have a tip for me, please let me know. Let's see, back to the list. Okay, so I did tell you a lot about cast-ons. I know the possibilities are endless, but the important thing is use the correct cast-on for what you need, for the amount of stretch you need or don't need. This coming Sunday, I am planning a Q&A. So if you have any questions about my knitting, about my adult job of Bowen therapist, about my family, my husband and my kids, about whatever, please let them know in the comments or send me an email at linda@wolhobby.nl, and I will collect the questions and answer them Sunday. This coming Thursday, we have a Zoom knit meet. We have a Zoom knit meet again, and they are so much fun. There are mostly, there are only Dutch-speaking knitters in the Zoom, but I've said it before. If you would like to have a Zoom meeting, just let me know and we can schedule one at a time that works for most of us, and then we can just enjoy a nice virtual knit night. I had a friend over for coffee this morning and she brought me these hyacinths and I don't know what the others are called. Let's see if it's on here maybe. No, it's not. It says on the label white, so they are probably all white when they bloom. But yeah, I love it. And then my memory card was full again. I still have all the melody videos on the memory card, so I don't want to erase them before we finish the project, or at least before I made all the instruction videos. Anyways, this is a knitting vlogmas. Did you knit? Yes, I did. I did, and it makes me so happy because I have been knitting on my no frills cardigan. Look what is happening here. I split for the sleeves and I have already knitted this much after the split. Here is my little Christmas tree. So this is what I knitted since you saw this. I am so obsessed with this project. And now that I have split for the sleeves, I don't have to think about raglan increases. And after the split, you had to increase for 3 more times next to the neckband. And I did that as well. So now I just have to do an endless sea of stockinettes. And I love working with my homespun yarn. So you will probably see more of this project during this vlogmas. I started the second ball yesterday. It's in my cozy yarn sleeve. That was in Wool Hobbies Advent calendar. And when I was running out of yarn on the first ball, I saw that this one started somewhere in the reds. Hence I decided not to use the last little bit. Well, I think that if I would just have finished this and started a new ball of yarn, I don't think it would be very obvious. But I just wanted to make sure, and I have plenty of yarn. So I just decided to cut off the last piece and start a new ball of yarn. I have the sleeves on my knitting cords, so that when I am ready to do the sleeves, I can just put the end of a cord on my knitting needle, like this. Slide all the stitches back on the needle and start knitting the sleeves. I am still in the dark about how long I'm going to make this cardigan and about the length of the sleeves, but that totally depends on the length of the cardigan. I might make a long sleeveless cardigan. I cast on 8 stitches under the arms, I think, and yesterday when my sister arrived, I put it on a knitting cord, the stitches on the knitting cord, and I tried it on so that we could see if it would close nicely in the front. There won't be any buttons, there won't be a button band or anything, but you can only make sure that you have enough width to close it around your body as you are still knitting it. So I tried it on and we had a look at it together, and we came to the conclusion that I was all ready to just knit. Like I said, this will make more appearances during vlogmas. Because it's just an easy knit now, I can knit on this while editing the video, and that is nice. So yeah, and I'm really enjoying this. I love working with my handspun yarn. And this handspun, I started it, I got it for my birthday in 2020. My birthday is next week. I have my birthday on the 27th, so in 2 weeks. And I got this from my sister. She bought me 10 100 grams amount of fiber in these beautiful coordinating colors, and I still had some fiber in stash that was really not enough for a whole project, so I threw that in as well. I pulled all the yarn in small amounts, in small batches, and I just spin whatever I grab. And then of course you have, in the end, you have 2 bobbins of hand spun, and then you twine them together, so that gives this barber cord look. And it does not happen often that I have the same color on the bobbin at the same time. So most of the time there is something going on in this yarn, and that is what makes it So beautiful and variegated. Oh, well, I'm going to edit this so that I can knit on this in the meantime. Don't forget that knitters have balls, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.